Hey guys, it's Pastor Roland Moss, the old history guy, with another look behind the scenes at what's happening with weird history and wacky news. Today's episode is Soda Pop Shenanigans. Sit back and enjoy. When Nikita Khrushchev came to visit President Eisenhower in 1959, the two leaders decided on a cultural exchange. The American exhibit came to Russia in the summer of 1959 with a Soviet display to follow in New York. After a spirited debate between Vice President Nixon and Premier Khrushchev on capitalism versus communism at the Moscow show, Pepsi-Cola Vice President Don Kendall offered the Russian leader a Pepsi. It was love at first taste and led to an exclusive contract to market Pepsi, not Coke, in Russia. But the ruble wasn't traded on the international monetary market, so the Soviets paid in vodka. Lots and lots of vodka. Selling Pepsi in Russia soon grew to a $3 billion business. By 1989, something more than vodka was going to be needed to renegotiate the contract. But what? This time, Russia paid in Cold War surplus military hardware: a cruiser, a destroyer, a frigate, and 17 submarines. Pepsi eventually sold its fleet as scrap to the Swedes for $3 billion, but for a while at least, Pepsi had the world's sixth largest navy. Pepsi's Don Kendall quipped to National Security Chief Brent Scowcroft, "We're disarming the Soviet Union faster than you are." And in other news, in the 1880s, three local guys in the small Spanish town of Aielo de Malferit opened a bottling plant and began producing a beverage they called Nuez de Coca-Cola. They took it to various international trade shows where it started garnering awards. Produced from cola nuts and coca leaves, it was an alcoholic concoction with many similarities to Coca-Cola. Then along came an American pharmacist named John Pemberton who developed the non-alcoholic Coca-Cola in 1886. Coincidence or industrial espionage? Well, definitely the latter if you ask the folks at Nuez de Coca-Cola. The two companies went their separate ways for almost 70 years. Finally, in 1953, Coke moved to Spain and bought the rights to Coca-Cola for next to nothing. Having closed the legal loopholes and tied up trademarks, the American beverage giant let the Spanish company continue producing their alcoholic cola and Coca drink. With the 21st century well underway, Coca-Cola is now worth an estimated $286 billion in 2022. Nuez de Coca, on the other hand, is down to 4 employees and wondered if they didn't get cheated back in the 1800s. It was easy to copy a beverage in those days, Coca officials contend. Get a bottle of Coca and see for yourself, if you can find one. And finally, on October 20th of 1909, government agents at the Tennessee state line flagged down an approaching truck. It was filled with Coca-Cola syrup headed for the Chattanooga bottling plant. The shipment was immediately seized. So, what were the charges? Marketing and selling a beverage injurious to the health of the consumer due to the presence of a harmful ingredient. The whole episode ended up as a wonky court case called the United States Government versus 40 barrels, 20 kegs Coca-Cola. The dangerous ingredient was cocaine, right? Everybody knows that Coke included trace amounts of the hallucinogenic substance. Nope, the substance on trial was caffeine. Harvey Watson Wiley with the United States Department of Agriculture was a longtime foe of caffeine and was going to use the recently passed Pure Food and Drug Act to rid beverages of what he called poison and a habit-forming drug. Worst of all, Coca-Cola was being consumed by children. Coke hired doctoral student Harry Hollingsworth to rigorously test the questionable substance. He definitely found caffeine to be a mild motor and cognitive stimulant with no dangerous side effects. Case dismissed. The Supreme Court would later rule to lessen the amount in 1916, but caffeine was here to stay. So go enjoy an invigorating Coca-Cola today, thanks to Harry Hollingsworth. Until next time, I'm Pastor Roland Moss, the old history guy, wishing that all your news may be just a little bit weird.